The walk to Leo's house is short, only about 15 minutes, but it feels like it takes much, much longer than that. Every tiny sound makes me jump, and I'm steeling myself for the moment where I see that creature again. Nothing happens, though. No screaming, and no gunshots. Aside from the crickets, the town is dead quiet. Still, we keep to the shadows, cutting through some backyards and sagebrush, probably picking up dozens of spiders and ticks along the way. It's funny. Despite everything that's going on, spiders are the biggest thing that are on my mind as I push through the branches and foliage. Finally, the wolf's small house appears out of the dusty, dark night. Leo walks ahead of us with TJ. TJ asked to walk on his own halfway here, and now he's clinging to Leo's hand like a kid, afraid of getting lost in the mall. Jason! I don't blame him. As we're walking up to the house, though, Leo stops. Kudzu, Carl, and I crowd behind him.
What is it?
Leo puts a finger to his lips, then points at the window on the side of the house. It's broken.
Oh, no.
The exact window.
Don't they keep talking about the window being broken?
You think about the window we broke at Duke's place.
Yeah, but wasn't there like a... No. Maybe I'm just crazy. Because I know we keep having that issue where it keeps bringing up the plot line in which we escape from... Oh, yeah, we escape from Duke's... Yeah, we escape from Duke's house, but it's a plot line we didn't play because we chose a different route that didn't involve us escaping from Duke's house, right?
Or even the one where...
No.
one where it sounded like we might have run to Leo's house.
Yeah. I thought... I don't know. I thought that like the window was already broken because we escaped from Leo's house and the plot line we didn't pick to pursue.
Maybe. It's broken.
Shit.
Leo lets go of TJ's hand, then makes a stay here motion with the other as he starts creeping toward the house. With some difficulty and a few awkward sounds, Leo pulls his gun out of his wet pants.
Will it still work?
I scream internally at the thought of Leo going in alone, but he's the only one with a weapon now. Apparently Kudzu had lost his during the whole lake incident, which Leo was pretty pissed about. Leo tries the door, then disappears inside, reaching out to make sure the screen door doesn't bang shut behind him. And then he was gone. We stand there in the silence a moment, when Kudzu whispers,
Hey, let's stand back. Just in case.
Back to back.
Back to back. Let's stand back to back just in case.
Yeah. Okay. Kudzu turns towards the road while I face toward Leo's house. Carl and TJ stand on either side of us. TJ hasn't said a word since Leo put him down. Ever since what happened to the lake, something in him snapped.
Maybe we should have just gone up to my place. Honestly, probably, because your house is much bigger and probably better fortified.
I think it's just even further away.
Yeah.
Carl gazes up sadly toward the mountains, his mansion somewhere hidden in the darkness.
I don't know. If someone broke into Leo's place to steal stuff, they definitely want to do the same to yours.
Knowing this town, Kudzu's probably right. Most of the people here resented Carl's family, and the way their mansion looked over the whole town. Like they're taunting us, people would say. I keep my eyes on the house, trying to see through the black windows. Leo hasn't turned any of the lights on, of course, so I can't really see anything. Listening doesn't bring any clues either.
So, what do you guys think that thing was? I don't know. I still think it was a kind of animal.
It practically bent the car in half. I say it out of the side of my mouth, away from TJ.
Maybe we should go inside. Probably safer in there, even if there is a burglar or whatever.
Didn't the mayor say something about it? Like, that it only kills us if we're trying to leave? I glance back at Kudzu. Is that what she was talking about? Kudzu shakes his head and shrugs his shoulders.
I really don't know, Chase.
So we go back to waiting. I'm about to mention that maybe we should move closer to the house, just in case, when we hear a scream. It comes from inside Leo's house, and it definitely doesn't sound like Leo. Carl squeaks next to me.
Shit!
I'm already running up the stairs, though, and I hear the others following closely behind. I push through the door, almost running headlong into the bench where you're supposed to take off your shoes. Leo? I shout as I realize that it's probably a bad idea.
A little bit.
A moment passes where the only sound I can hear is the heavy breathing of my friends behind me. Then... Down here. Turn on the lights. His voice comes from the hallway, and it's calm. I move a paw along the wall before finding the light switch, revealing the kitchen. We move down the hallway, toward Leo's room, where I can see that the light is on. Inside, I find Leo standing over his own bed. In the bed, I see someone else. A little polecat, disheveled in a tank top, looking even more skeletal than usual. It's Clint, curled up in a little ball, cowering. Leo has his gun pointed at him.
Wait. Please don't shoot me. I needed a place to stay.
Leo inches the gun lower. Then why aren't you at your own place? Kudzu and Carl stand next to me while TJ stays in the doorway, gazing in at us from the dim hallway. Leo raises his gun again, and I actually think he's about to shoot Clint. Leo raises his paws. Clint raises his paws, whining.
Leo, wait. He helps me find Chase.
What? Leo glances at Kudzu, then back at Clint.
He came up to my door last night, told me he saw Chase in the trailer.
I'm confused, too. But I guess I never asked Kudzu how exactly he was able to find me. Right, because Clint did see us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did kind of forget that. Yeah, I kind of forgot.
Yeah, he showed up looking for drugs when Brian had us, and Brian did not... I think he just forgot we were even there, so he didn't even think about hiding us.
He was like gonna bring Clint in, and was like, oh wait, I already got like somebody.
Right, I'm supposed to be keeping a secret.
What to do?
My mind immediately flashes back to when I saw Clint peering in at me in the trailer, asking Brian for drugs.
I might not have found Chase if he hadn't told me.
Clint nods enthusiastically to that, but Leo doesn't lower the gun. Wait, Leo. Clint hasn't done anything to hurt us since this started. Just... Everyone's gone fucking crazy. Might as well get rid of him before he gets the chance at it too. What? What are you doing, Leo? Leo's got a hardened look on his face that I don't recognize at all.
Wait. I know how to get out of here, I think.
Leo's stance falters, but only just. What do you mean?
That's why I'm here. Just get the gun off me for a second, I'll explain.
Clint is twitchy and keeps scratching at his chest and arms. It comes off like he was able to find those drugs after all.
Come on, Leo. If it's all of us against him, he can't do anything to us.
Leo keeps the gun up for a few seconds, then finally lowers it with a dismissive grunt. Alright, fine. How are we supposed to get out of here? Clint slowly pushes himself up to sit against the frame of Leo's bed, clearing his throat. This is like it's also like, definitely looks like a daytime image.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's funny because you could just, like, you flipped the light on and you could interpret it that way until you look at the window and you're like, that's definitely light coming from the window. And all the light's
definitely coming from the window, yeah.
Well, I think it might have something to do with the train yard.
There's a moment of silence as we all wait for Clint to go on.
Because Clint and his story about the train yard.
He just stares back at us, though. Well, stares at the gun in Leo's paws.
Clint? Huh?
Clint doesn't look at Kudzu as his eyes remain fixated on the pistol.
Leo, just put the gun down for a second, okay? On the dresser behind you. Or something.
Leo shakes his head. I'm not risking our lives again, Kud. Leo fixes Clint with a glare. The most I'm going to do is keep the gun off you, Clint. Clint flinches when Leo says his name. I look over and see Carl twisting his paws around in the pocket of his hoodie, his eyes wide. TJ, on the other hand, is still standing in the hall, his eyes glinting softly in the dim light. For some reason, I get the feeling that he's looking at me. Tell us now. Leo's tone turns dark, and I look over, half expecting him to have the gun up again. It's still pointed at the carpet, but I can practically see Leo's fingers twitching against the trigger guard. He looks almost excited. The Leo I know would never be so eager to kill someone. Even if that someone happened to be Clint. I hope that when this is over, if we get out of this somehow, Leo's able to get back to that old self. Clint's shaking so badly he can barely speak. Finally, Kudzu steps in between them.
Alright, Leo. If you want to keep the gun, that's fine. But can you at least step into the hallway? Maybe he'll be able to calm down enough.
No. Kudzu stops short, but I see him set his jaw, drawing up his shoulders.
Someone actually might have information to get us out of here, and all you want to do is scare him shitless?
I can see Leo puffing himself up, too, and I don't like the look in his eyes. So I step forward on Kudzu's right, practically blocking Clint from Leo's line of sight. When I do, Leo's eyes snap to mine, the simmering snarl disappearing from his muzzle. Leo, come on. Otter, move out of the way. His tone is gentle, like I'm some kind of kid. No, Leo, you're acting weird right now. Just calm down for a sec, okay? Leo frowns at me. Hey, I'm just trying to keep us all safe. I see the wolf leaning his head a little to the side, like he's trying to keep an eye on Clint. Leo, let's go out into the hall. Kudzu? I give the raccoon a sidelong glance. Can handle himself for a few minutes, okay? Kudzu nods. I take a few cautious steps towards Leo. He's looking between me and Kudzu now, and there's a different look on his face. One that I'm having trouble placing. I reach out and gently touch his arm. The muscles are hard, his biceps standing out thickly under his fur. Still, I gently try to push him towards the door. As I do, I feel him go a little slack, and with a whole lot of relief on my part, he finally starts moving toward the hallway. Carl, still gaping at the whole scene, suddenly seems to snap out of it and hurriedly moves out of our way into the hall. Leo reluctantly continues to shuffle down the hallway as I put an arm around his side, hugging him to me. He responds with the same gesture. We pass a solemn-looking TJ, his eyes following me as we move toward the kitchen. You okay, TJ? He doesn't say anything, instead just slowly following us into the kitchen. His fur is still all spiky and mussed up from the plunge into the lake, and his clothes look uncomfortably damp. That gives me an idea. Why don't we all get our clothes into the dryer? Then maybe we can have something to eat? There's a moment of silence. Neither TJ nor Leo is giving me any response. Carl gives us muffled cough, though.
Actually, I could go for some food. Little do you know he only has TV dinners. You're not gonna like that, guys.
Just with just pooled slime.
Ew, I hate it.
About 20 minutes later, Carl, TJ, and I are sitting in the laundry room putting our clothes through a dryer. I can hear Leo in the kitchen, frying something up on the stove.
He has a TV dinner on a pan, like on the stove.
While I should be worried about not keeping an eye on him, he's calmed down considerably since we were in his bedroom. Also, the laundry room is between the kitchen and the bedroom, so it'd be pretty hard for him to get past me without seeing. So I keep watch, leaning against the wall, staring out into the dark hallway. Carl sits on the dryer, vibrating along with it, while TJ sits on the floor, cross-legged, looking at nothing.
Shirtless Carl.
Pantsless Carl.
Ooh.
He's just down.
Have we seen him like that before? I don't remember if we saw him as undies or not.
Probably. We slept together.
He has this little button fly.
Yeah, I think we've talked about the button fly before.
Yeah,
because we were like, what?
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Like, there's no way you ever use that.
No, it's just for aesthetics. 100%.
No. And for who? Just gonna get caught. Imagine, I just figured it gets
get
caught
caught
on
in your
zippers
jeans,
and stuff,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
This feels so good on my ass, dude.
Carl is this route's Raven.
He's the comic relief.
Yeah. What, the vibration?
No, the heat. I was freezing, I didn't even realize it.
Carl knocks his hooves against the side of the metal dryer.
No, he's one of those like housewife moms who just leans up against the dryer.
Yeah.
Like,
No, he's sitting on it.
Yeah, I know. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, no, I like it for the heat. I like it for the
Yeah.
heat. But in reality, he's like,
Yeah.
vibration.
Everything's bouncing.
Hey, T, do you want to join me up here? What a weird thing to
Now
ask.
he's in his underwear. Everyone's in their underwear.
Oh, look, he's like little tiny whiteies, and they match his burgundy polo shirt that he's not wearing, but...
They're boxer briefs. And Carl just wears boxers because he hasn't discovered that boxer briefs are better.
I wouldn't know.
Boxers are just a weird mistake. Like, once you realize that there's other options, you're like, why did I do that?
Honestly, the only thing... like, there's a lot of options for underwear, and there's a lot of options for underwear that just doesn't work. Thongs are by far the least comfortable of, I think, all the underwear for both men and women.
It's just like a trap.
Yeah, and then they have the ones that have like the back part is like a chain or like a dazzly thing or like a ribbon, and I'm like, no, horrible idea, guys.
No. I think dudes quickly realize that they could just move on to jock straps instead, and it's like the same effect on the front, but not the shitty thing on the back.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly, those...
whatever. What a nightmare. Why would you want to go there?
The whole jock strap thing, I'm a fan of the strappiness. It looks very like it looks like it has a purpose, even though it doesn't. It looks like you're gonna go into combat or something.
Well, it has a purpose in that for sports, it's supposed to be able to hold a cup.
Yeah, but I just mean like it looks like.
But that's not the average use anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Not the places where I go shop. I don't think that's what they're selling them for.
No, thank you.
You could just lean up against the side. You gotta be cold too.
That means TJ's speaking again. This time, TJ doesn't say anything, and I finally look away from the hallway. TJ, are you okay? You want to talk? TJ looks up at me again, with those emotionless eyes. No. He says it so quietly, it's almost like he didn't say anything at all. I hold his gaze for a while before looking away.
Don't worry about it, Tej. We're gonna be out of here in no time.
Carl slides off the dryer, his damp underwear squeaking loudly against the metal as he clops to the ground. He gives a few strategic tugs at his underwear to probably loosen the wedgie he just created. Then he sits down on the ground in front of TJ, cross-legged as well. TJ barely looks up at him, and I notice the links trembling slightly.
Listen, back in my house, I was like stuck in this weird trap version of my house. Like there was no exit.
TJ finally glances up at the ram.
It's like, were you high? Were you just really high, Carl? And well, I thought I was gonna be stuck forever, and I was panicking. It was like a nightmare that wouldn't end.
So instead of having Jenna and Raven and Chase,
He was just there by himself.
Just alone.
That's horrible.
In a just a horrible looping house. Where I assume he didn't solve anything or find anything because there wasn't.
So there's like no point to any of it.
Because I think. I mean, it's hard to keep straight. I think the ghost that might have initiated everything was Bigay, that did the first escape room puzzle that led to the status quo change and everything.
Yeah.
So without that, he's just like stuck in a weird infinite hotel place with no windows.
That sucks.
It's really
that
bad.
That sucks, Carl.
It's really bad.
That is both boring and scary. But then, right when I was giving up, you guys woke me up. I mean, sure, I sort of woke up into another nightmare, but at least it's with you guys, right?
And I've only thrown up on myself twice.
We can make it a third time.
I hear shifting. Then the bedroom door swings open fully, and Kudzu appears, slipping out and closing the door quietly.
Are you gonna be in your
him.
underwear too?
Do you have an underwear sprite too?
Yeah, let's see.
Did they dry you in your underwear? The raccoon spots me and moves over to stand next to me, his ears perked. Hey.
No, he's not wearing his underwear. Hey.
I see Kudzu's nose twitch at the air, looking towards the kitchen.
Leo?
He's cooking.
Like we're in the fucking kitchen. Like, if Leo was in the kitchen cooking, he would be right next to him. This is not a laundry room.
No, we're like in the hallway or something with the dryer.
I know, but there's an oven behind him.
Well, that's just the backdrop that's available.
Oh yeah, no, I'm aware. I
I
just think it's funny.
Yeah. So, how'd it go? You were in there for a while. Kudzu sighs and leans against the wall of the hallway, looking back at the closed door.
I don't know, really. Something about a train going through here the past few days after everything started.
Through the rail yard?
That's what he says.
Huh. That didn't make much sense. The rail yard has been abandoned for the past at least 50 years. It's a ghost train.
Woo woo.
What if it takes you back to the year that the first murder happened in? You gotta prevent the first murder to undo the curse.
Whoa.
Silent Hill! Silent Hill! I had the experience of recently watching a fan edit that tries to recreate the director's vision for the movie Silent Hill. Mm-hmm. So it edits out, among other things, all the Sean Bean scenes and also every time that the child talks, because all of those scenes were added in. That movie was apparently butchered by. It was test screened with test audiences, and then they just filmed like 40 more minutes of movie and just added it afterwards, including all of the Sean Bean scenes. They just weren't in the film. They weren't in the script. They're like, people don't understand this movie, and then they just added like some guy going around being confused. Where's my wife? for like so long. And so all that's cut out, and it's like a really well-paced, neat movie. And it's like, oh. And it was already my favorite video game movie. That's the hill I'll die on.
I don't trust I don't trust test audiences in a lot of ways. They're just like, I don't get it. Like, can you make it easier to understand? And it's like, no, it's called it's nuance, guys. Like, I don't know. Some people are just like, it's too confusing. They should have put in like a part where they tell me literally what's going on.
We really want to sell the Silent Hill movie to the wine mom demographic, and they don't seem to be.
It's really not hitting with golf dads, and like we really wanted to hit with golf dads, so we need to make this a little bit easier to talk about around the water cooler at work.
Those are the two genres of test audience: golf dad and wine mom.
Yeah, very very distinct.
Are you sure he isn't just like the rest of us, seeing things? Kudzu shrugs.
I really don't know. Hard to tell with a guy like him.
Yeah.
It's probably hard on a normal day, let alone like right now. Well, I remember some guys inspecting the rails a few weeks ago. Maybe they opened one up again?
That idea also seems strange to me, but I don't know much about trains. So, what? If there is a train going through here, are we just gonna jump onto it?
That was his plan anyway. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I also like how his other story about trains is someone's dying.
Yeah, remember? It's like, yeah, it's someone getting torn
cut in half.
Apart.
My mind jumps to Robert Smith and what exactly happened to him when he tried to hop a train. Even if we're able to get on a train, could that creature still get to us? It was able to knock the car into the lake, so I don't know how capable it is. So when does the train come?
He's not sure. Said it seemed random.
I sigh loudly.
That's actually that's an awful noise.
Then we all jump as the dryer finishes with a loud, grating buzz. I shakily rub my face, then move to open the dryer. Well, at least we get our clothes back on. Then we can go in the kitchen and tell Leo what's going on. We all sit at the table, eating quietly as Kudzu tells Leo everything. The food looks like some kind of vegetable stir-fry. The first bite reminds me that I'm starving, and it's hard not to just try and shove all of it in my mouth at once. Carl, sitting across from me, does just that. He hasn't eaten for a whole day.
It's hard for Carl.
Plus or minus drywall. Although we didn't see drywall on a plate this time.
Well, I mean, he might have puked. He puked something up in the car. Maybe it was drywall and he puked up in the car.
He was pretty sure he was empty, and they called it dry heaving, so I think they mean that he didn't really have anything besides just like
yeah. But then he barfed a good amount and then did a little barf after that.
Just a little one.
Yuck. Hate that.
That sounds like a load of bullshit. Kudzu shrugs.
All of this is crazy, dude. Like, might as well just fucking try it. Like, I don't know what else to go on. Why would he lie anyway?
To buy himself some time. Kudzu closes his eyes for a second, breathing in deeply.
Listen, Leo. There's no way he's gonna try anything. He's scared out of his mind right now.
Duke was scared. Didn't stop him from trying to kill us. It's probably worse that he's scared. Leo looks up the hallway, toward the bedroom, and I'm starting to not like the look in his eyes again. In fact, I'm wondering why the fuck we left him in the room alone in the first fucking place.
He's gonna look at all my porn. He's gonna look at all my otter porn. Oh no.
I mean, only two things can happen. He's either still there when we come back, or he's left. Which, almost, that seems like an upgrade in Leo's perspective if he just leaves. Unless the only outcomes he can see are he's still there or you kill him. Like,
well, I mean, he could have ransacked everything and left. Like, I don't know.
Oh no, Leo's bedroom is more fucked up.
He could have pissed on the bed and then left.
That's just incredibly irrelevant to the situation at this point.
Well, he's like, fuck you, Leo.
Yeah. I'm like, we're talking about a broken window and in a room that has a bunch of holes in the wall. Like, it's not going to make the place much worse.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, your house is kind of shitty, Leo. The tweaker can't make it much worse.
Leo starts to show his teeth. I reach out and rest a paw on the wolf's arm, again feeling the tensing of the muscles underneath the fur. Hey, don't worry about it. But he jerks his arm away and suddenly turns on me. Why the hell are you on his side with this shit? You were with that fucking bear. You know what these crazies are doing. I wince internally at being reminded of the incident, but I try again, reaching out. Yeah, but Clint isn't Brian. You know he was pushed around by that bear too. Leo pulls his arm further away from me. He's looking back and forth between me and Kudzu again. What is it? You're both acting like I'm the crazy one. The wolf pushes his chair back from the table. I heard you whispering shit in the hallway. You been saying things behind my back?
Uh-oh, it's the bad music.
Yup. Leo narrows his eyes at Kudzu.
Whoa, dude, chill out.
Why don't you keep eating, Carl?
Ooh.
Oh, he's gone. Leo shifts his gaze towards the bedroom again before abruptly standing up. Someone's in Flynn mode.
I know, it's exactly what it seems like.
I'm gonna check on him. Leo. I start to stand up as well, but Kudzu is one step ahead of me. He moves to intercept the wolf, both hands out.
Oh, Kudzu's face. Come on, Leo.
But he doesn't get to finish. Instead, the wolf goes straight into him, grabbing one of his arms and punching it at his face. Kudzu sees it coming and is able to duck, but he's not quite fast enough. Leo's knuckles glance off the raccoon's muzzle, knocking his head around. Leo keeps a hold of his arm and swings Kudzu around, away from the hallway and back into the kitchen.
Oh shit.
Kudzu takes the fall rather well, going into a sort of roll. He does end up banging against Carl's chair, but he comes up on one knee, panting and staring up at Leo. His nose is bleeding. What the fuck? I'm standing before I know it and move around the table to stand at Kudzu's side. I look him over, trying to see if Leo has done any serious damage before I look back at the wolf. What are you doing? Carl clumsily tries to help the raccoon up, his ears flat against his head. Leo breathes heavily, staring down at Kudzu before his eyes flick to me. Get away from him. What? Get away from him. This time there's a growly quality to his voice, and I see his fingers drift towards his belt.
Ooh.
I do move away from Kudzu, but only just. I don't want either of us getting shot. Leo turns his attention to Kudzu. You. Out. Kudzu stares up at the wolf for only a moment before getting briskly to his feet. His breathing is so erratic, I'm wondering if he's going to have a panic attack. He gives me a single glance before hurrying out of the kitchen. I want to stop him, get in his way like he did Leo's. But the look on Leo's face right now has me frozen, and I can't do or say anything as I watch the raccoon's tail disappear. I hear the door swing open, then bang shut. I look back and almost jump as I see Leo's eyes are still on me, studying me. He stares a while longer before turning away and stomping loudly down the hall. Carl is frozen next to me, and TJ just sits there, his eyes down on his plate, food untouched. Still numb, I have to force myself to walk forward, following Leo, terrified of what's about to happen. Leo, wait! My voice is too quiet, too soft for the wolf to even hear me. The door ahead of me swings open. There's a moment of silence, then... Leo curses loudly, and I run to the door frame looking inside, not sure what I'm about to find. I'm pretty sure Clint just left.
I thought it was going to be a bang. I was like...
Yeah, I thought he was going to shoot him.
I think they wanted us to think
instead,
that.
Yeah. What I find is nothing. No one's inside. The covers of the bed are thrown back, the window wide open. See? See, I told you.
What? Like, what? Told me what? Like, Clint was smart to leave because you're going to come in here and fucking shoot him. Like,
yeah, I mean, what the fuck?
He just peacefully left.
Yeah. Leo's voice goes from an almost scream to a hushed whisper as he moves to the window, looking out into the night. He slides the window shut, then locks it.
Wasn't it broken? How do you do that?
I guess he broke it to get in, but he opened it to get out, because that's better than going through a broken window.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess so you shut it, but there's still a hole in the window.
Yeah. This is exactly what I was worried about. What? Inside, I'm relieved more than anything. For some reason, I'm positive that if Clint was still here, or if Leo had caught him in the act of trying to escape, I don't doubt that he would have tried to shoot him. That stupid fucking raccoon, thinking he knew what was best. Leo continues to peer out the window, his ears perked up. I know what the hell is best for us. Thinks he can just come in and tell everyone what to do. See what happens? I start to move back into the hallway, towards the kitchen, but Leo suddenly whirls around on me. His frown turns into a sort of uncertain smile. Hey, Otter, are you okay? I don't say anything, I just stare at him. Otter? Vaguely, I can hear Carl clopping around uncertainly in the hallway, probably too afraid to get close. I try to speak, then wet my lips. Yeah? Leo extends a paw. Come here. Did I scare you? I fidget with my paws. No. Well, come on then. Slowly I move into the wolf's room. Despite my dragging feet, my mind is racing, trying to decide what the hell is going on and what the hell I'm going to do. Leo's lost it, there's no question about that. It's something that I've sort of known for the past day, ever since we found him in Duke's basement. And now it's getting worse. A lot worse. Still, I continue to move towards him like I'm in some kind of dream. Soon he's got me wrapped up in his arms, and despite the warmth, despite the strength I feel in them, I don't feel good about it at all. I'm just scared. Chula. He breathes into my ear, sending shivers down my spine. I told you I'm going to protect you. I'm going to keep you safe. That's exactly what I'm going to do. He starts rocking me back and forth, shifting us around at his feet like we're doing some kind of half dance at prom. He's moved us around so that I'm looking at the door and I can see Carl's horns, his eyes fearfully peering into the room. That raccoon, he wasn't good for you. He was so obviously jealous. It's like, that's what this all is.
It's so gross.
Good for me.
Yeah.
He helped me. Leo gives me a squeeze that almost knocks the breath from my lungs and cuts me off. This song, too.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. We haven't heard this one before, huh?
No. It's the very specific state that he's in.
It's a, it is... What's that called? It's troubling, I guess.
Yeah.
This kind of music, it just kind of, it's a, like...
It makes me
something
imagine
is wrong.
A woman who thinks she's dancing at a ball, but all she's surrounded by is like dust and covered chairs and
Ooh, I like that.
like just like a weird abandoned space. But for her, it's like vibrant and like a different reality is happening.
She looks out in the crowd, but in reality, there's just no one there.
Yeah. Maybe, maybe not. I could see him acting strange, kind of like the others. The wolf continues to rock us back and forth as I continue to look over Leo's shoulders, seeing in Carl's eyes that this is definitely fucked up. I don't say anything else to Leo, worried about how he might take it if I keep trying to convince him that Kudzu was only trying to help us. I'm going to get all of you out of here, like I should have done from the beginning, okay? He gives me a little shake when I'm silent, a little too long. Okay. Okay. And he keeps rocking me like that for what seems like hours, and when we make another revolution, I can see that Carl's not there anymore. Then I hear something. Soft at first, then louder and louder. Leo stops dancing with me. I can make out a rhythmic, dull, metallic sound, accompanied by a horn. Oh. The train.
Oh, okay, that, I was thinking like, honk honk. Like, yeah, I was not thinking the right kind of horn.
A train? TJ and Carl are standing at the back door, staring out into the night. Leo pushes past them, ears perked as he tries to see through the darkness. The train sounds incredibly close, almost like it's only feet away. Should we go to it? Like Clint said? There's a sound. Just hearing in the distance. This is an unnervingly low contrast background.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. You just vaguely make out enough of the foliage to wonder if the creature's there.
I love that. I hate that and I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's like it makes you do that thing where your eyes strain, like as if you were looking into actual darkness. Mm-hmm. And there is just something so unsettling about that kind of in between. If it's completely black, you almost can kind of just like deal with that. Yeah. And if it's light, obviously there's no specific issue. But in this one, it's like there's so many ambiguous shapes that you have to look at that like it forces your brain to try to figure out what those shapes are. Yeah. And that in itself is just an unnerving
left to its own
thing
devices,
to do.
Your brain tries to find meaning, so it interprets shapes into it.
Yeah, and some of those shapes you might not want to have to think about or see. So it's like your brain starts just putting bad shapes everywhere.
Leo pauses, his nose twitching before he waves his paw at us. You guys stay here. I'm gonna have a look. Leo. And just like that, the wolf disappears into the night, leaving us behind. I stare out into the night.
So, guess Clint wasn't shitting us after all, huh?
Yeah. All I can think about right now, though, is Kudzu. Did he hear the train right now? Was he on his way over there? I looked to my right, towards Kudzu's house, only a few hundred feet away. Quietly, I start stepping outside.
Chase?
Carl's voice behind me is timid, scared. I look back at him, able to make out the whites of his eyes in the darkness. TJ looks behind him, staring at me as well, though far more stoically. I'll be right back. I just need to check on Kudzu. I don't really want to think about what happens if Leo gets back and Chase isn't there.
Oh gosh.
And it's just Carl and TJ.
Yeah, honestly, if Chase told me he was leaving, I'd be like, I'm gonna go too, because I don't want to be here when Leo gets back.
Everything that Kudzu had done for me up to this point, saving me multiple times, making sure I was doing okay, nursing me back to health. Hell, even helping me with my project before all this shit went down. I'm not going to abandon him. Just like with Leo, when he was imprisoned by Duke, I feel like it's my responsibility, only this time the urge is even stronger. I have to make sure Kudzu makes it out of here, like the rest of us. Carl, though, doesn't look so enthusiastic about that.
I don't know if that's such a good idea. You saw Leo.
Carl looks over my shoulder, and I do the same, worried that maybe the wolf is coming back. But all I see is darkness. I realize then that Carl is just as afraid of the wolf as I am right now. I swear, I'm only going to be away a few minutes. If Leo asks, tell him I don't know, just tell him I needed some air.
That won't... It definitely won't.
No.
It won't.
It won't. I don't wait for Carl to finish his sentence. My eyes slowly adjust, but it's too dark to really see any more than 5 feet. The amount of stars overhead is almost dazzling, but it's not enough light to help me see. In fact, it's almost disorienting. The way the bright, powder-like sky clashes with the black horizon of the mountains. Focusing on it too much makes my stomach turn, and I turn my eyes down, trying to focus on the barely visible ground instead. Did he get attacked, or did he fucking trip again?
No way.
Until my face slams right into something big, hard, and full of twigs. Jesus fucking... God damn it. I shout whisper into my paws, covering my nose, afraid for a second that I may have ran one of my eyes through.
Oh god.
Jesus. A quick but shaky examination with my fingers puts that fear at ease, though now I feel like my muzzle has gone flat in my face.
Dude, all these people are they're all busted up after today.
Yeah.
Cuts everywhere and bumps everywhere and
managed to be so dark he walked into something without even seeing it. That jolt had me feeling all the aches of the past 2 incidents with cars. That's right, he got hit by a car and was in a car crash.
Yeah, it's been a long...
How many times has he been knocked out in the last, 24 hours? He's vacation from this vacation. I stand there in the dark for a moment, gathering my senses. It's almost completely silent now. The train, if it was a train, has passed us by this point. The metallic clanks and rushing sound is far behind me. Standing in the silence, though, is starting to give me seconds thoughts.
Yeah.
Attorneys generals. I'm pretty sure there aren't any trees between Leo and Kudzu's house. Did I get off track somehow? Something cracks a little ways ahead of me, and I freeze up, my ears twitching. I listen hard, trying to hear anything above the crickets. Okay, yeah, this was really fucking stupid. I remember that I'm not at all that far away from Leo's house, and look back at the yellow squares of windows in the distance. I should probably just go back to reorient myself and try to get to Kudzu's house again. As I'm turning around, though, another crack behind me, followed by a muffled voice.
Shit.
I freeze at the voice. I open my mouth to try and quietly call out, but stop myself.
Yeah, that's a gamble.
I can't be sure, but it sounded like Kudzu, albeit muffled and low-pitched. I decide to wait a while longer, with one foot pointed out toward Leo's house. And then, this time the sound is right next to me, and jump in the air. I make a run for the house and immediately trip over several rocks, going
God
face first
damn
into
it,
the
Chase.
ground.
Fucking Chase.
I'm scrambling up.
With your name being Chase, you're really not very good at being Chase.
No.
Chase. Like, fucking... You're the most stupid girl in a horror movie trope ever. Oh no, I'm wearing heels and I'm running in the woods.
I'm scrambling at the ground with my paws and feet when I hear the voice again.
Whoa, Chase?
I slump back to the ground in relief. Oh my god, Kudzu, what the hell are you doing? I feel the raccoon's paws feel over me, then pull me back to my feet.
I heard a train. Then I saw someone. Are you okay?
From the faint light of the stars, I can make out Kudzu's ears and the tip of his muzzle. My eyes have adjusted to the point where I can see the mask in his fur.
He should be great at walking around in the dark. Kudzu's like made for nighttime rummaging.
More than an otter, at least.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's a river otter. I'm pretty sure they're not nocturnal, like at all. But I mean, I could be completely wrong. But I don't think they're nocturnal.
Yeah, I wanted to come get you in case we were going to try to hop the train. I look over my shoulder, trying to listen for the train again.
A little late for that,
Well, yeah, but I didn't want to leave you behind.
Ah.
I rub my face where I hit the branch. Listen, I don't know what's going on with Leo, but maybe we can go back and try to talk. Kudzu shakes his head.
Nah, I don't think he's gonna listen.
As much as I hate to admit it, Kudzu's probably right. Well, I'm not gonna leave you out here, after everything we went through. I see a glint of white teeth as Kudzu gives me a small smile.
Wow. Well, thanks, man. But really, you should probably get back before he...
At that moment, I realized something. Wait, what were you doing out here? You said you saw someone? Kudzu shifts slightly from one foot to the other.
I thought I did, at least.
Like someone from the town, or...?
I think it was your friend.
What?
The fox, Jenna.
Jenna? My eyes go wide, and I turn back to the darkness, squinting. Where? Where did you see her? Kudzu turns to look with me, then takes a few steps forward.
Well, I was going back to my trailer after the whole thing with Leo, and this fox girl just kind of jumped up from the side of my house.
Where'd she go? My heart's hammering in my chest right now as I strain to see her. Jenna's been on my mind since the very beginning, and her absence has only become more prominent after finding the others.
Well, I think she went off in that direction.
Kudzu points into the darkness. You know, every direction.
I could hear her running off, but then the footsteps stopped, so I thought she might have stopped and hid somewhere.
Come on, then. I motion Kudzu forward and step towards the blackness of the wilderness.
Hold on. I was gonna grab a flashlight. There's no way we're finding anything out here at this time of night.
You go get them. I'll wait. Of course, I'm terrified of being left alone, but I'm also terrified of Jenna running away if I don't keep watch.
I think you should also be terrified of Jenna, because Jenna's kind of, like, last time we saw Jenna in one of these, she was a little fucked up.
Yeah, we don't know how bad Jenna is in this timeline.
She's a little scary.
'Cause she stabbed us.
Yeah,
We got stabbed. I'm getting the feeling Jenna literally killed us. That's our one timeline where we died, is Jenna literally murdered us.
Yeah.
It was John, but still. I'm getting the feeling she might be under the same influence that Carl or TJ had earlier.
You sure?
Yeah. I want to stay here in case she comes out. I wave him away.
Okay. But yell if something happens, alright?
Okay. Kudzu goes in and comes out within less than a minute, though it feels way longer than that. While he was gone, I risked a few loud whispers of Jenna's name, but I didn't get any response. Pretty soon, a beam of light is sweeping the dirt, sagebrush, and cacti as we slowly make our way in the direction that Jenna had run. Apparently, it was through the backyard and out through the desert. I'm worried that maybe she didn't stop running.
We saw how fast she was in the parking lot of that mall that one time.
Yeah, she can outrun Leo. Why was she running? Did she say something? Did she say anything? I whisper softly to Kudzu as I follow along with him, one hand on his shoulder.
No, just looked up at me and took off. Looked terrified of something.
I frown, my paw tightening a bit on the raccoon's shoulder. Maybe it's just because she doesn't know you, right? Like, maybe she was heading to Leo's place.
Maybe.
I try to focus on the sea of pale glow in front of me. The bright, cold light of the flashlight sucking the color out of the desert. I'm worried that Leo's going to be drawn to this light and then react to us being together again.
Oh, no, you're right. That's going to be the worst look for him.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The grays and whites all sort of blend together after a while, and the swinging motion of the beam starts to lull me into a weird, hypnotic state. It's at this moment I catch movement out of the corner of my eye, on the right, where the light isn't currently pointed. I hear the sound of shifting dirt and gravel, immediately followed by a bizarre, high-pitched snarl that makes me gasp in horror. I actually even piss myself a little as I see a glint of white teeth.
Brave admittance.
Internal monologue.
Yeah.
Kudzu tries to swing the beam back in the direction of the sound, and at the same time, I try to pull him back with the paw on his shoulder. Whatever it is hits Kudzu hard, knocking him back and sending him stumbling away to land on my ass. Me stumbling back.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Hang on a minute.
He landed on my ass.
The flashlight rolls away from the raccoon's paw and shines into my face, briefly blinding me. I can sense a loud, growling commotion right in front of me, along with the sound of Kudzu grunting. Numbly, I reach out and snatch up the flashlight, then turn it on the sounds. First, I see Jenna, her ears back, teeth bared, swinging her paws at the crumpled heap on the ground. That heap is Kudzu, and he's got his arms up in self-defense, snarling back, his eyes wide. Jenna! Just like that, the snarl drops from her face, and her eyes snap up to mine.
Chase?
Every character's here. But then the position is suddenly reversed as Kudzu grabs the fox by the wrist and practically barrel rolls.
Barrel roll.
Now Kudzu sits on her back, and she keeps...
And he keeps
a hold on her wrist.
He has her like cop held or whatever.
Wait, stop. I rush over to them, grabbing Kudzu's upper arm, trying to pull his paw away from Jenna. It's okay. She's good. She recognizes me. Kudzu only hesitates for a moment before scrambling off the fox and backing away, breathing hard. Jenna quickly sits up, absent-mindedly brushing off her shirt as she looks up at me.
Oh my god, Chase?
She says it with a hushed whisper, putting a paw to her mouth. Jenna, are you okay? I reach down to help her up, and she immediately goes in to hug me. I stand there awkwardly for a moment as she buries her face in my shoulder, gasping for breath. I'm not sure if she's crying or not. Are you okay? I ask again, patting her back awkwardly.
Sorry, I'm fine.
Jenna steps back and wipes under her eye with the back of her paw.
I didn't know where any of you were.
Where were you? Jenna looks alright for the most part, except for a weird bunch of dirt on her clothes and in her fur. But then, I don't know if that's from before or after she was wrestling with Kudzu.
I don't know. I was out in the desert and...
It's still dark, obviously, but I can make out the frown on her face, and she seems to struggle for words. Finally, Kudzu steps in.
Hey, let's get to my trailer. We can talk it out in there, alright?
Jenna silently nods, then seems to really focus on Kudzu.
Wait, who are you?
I step in for the raccoon. This is Kudzu. He's a friend. He saved me a bunch of times. That seems to be good enough for Jenna. With that out of the way, we all head back towards the trailer.